It is midday in Damascus. It's 2:30 p.m. in Kabul. I'm Monita Rajpal.
And I'm Zain Verji. This is World One Live from London.
Human Rights Watch has accused the Syrian army of using landmines in its efforts to crush the opposition. The rights group quotes witnesses as saying security forces have planted mines along the borders with Turkey and Lebanon. The UN's joint envoy for Syria, Kofi Annan, will meet with members of the opposition in Turkey later today. On the day, activists called for a day of mourning across the country. Sadness is turning to anger in Afghanistan as the country mourns the 16 people killed by an American soldier. Women and children were among the victims of Sunday's rampage in Kandahar. Hundreds of people have taken to the streets in the past few hours, chanting anti-American slogans. Afghanistan's parliament has demanded the soldier suspected of carrying out the killings stand trial in an Afghan court. Told CNN it will take revenge by beheading Americans in Afghanistan. Sarah Seidner is in the Afghan capital, Kabul. She joins us now with more on that. Sarah.
Yeah, I received a message from the Taliban this morning, and basically they said that they will take revenge for this by beheading any Americans in the country, anywhere.
Well, two important primary elections are about to get underway in the U.S. presidential race. Republicans vying for their party's nomination to run against Barack Obama are competing today in Alabama and Mississippi. Mitt Romney may be the front runner in the overall delegate race so far. Political editor Paul Steinhauser joins us now from Gardendale, Alabama. Paul, good to see you. So what can they, I guess, expect? We're talking about pretty far-right conservatives, southern states.
Yes, Mississippi and Alabama, where I am. We're in Gardendale, as you mentioned, just north of Birmingham, the state capital.
Polls of conflict raging inside Syria is creating another tragedy outside its borders. Thousands of refugees have fled the brutal violence, carrying what they can, hoping to find shelter. The UN estimates that some 30,000 people have now spilled into neighboring countries to escape the slaughter. Thousands have found refuge in Jordan and Lebanon, but the vast majority have reportedly ended up in southern Turkey, where the UN says more than 13,000 people are being housed in a network of refugee camps. Hundreds of children are said to be among them. And earlier, I spoke to the UN's High Commissioner for Refugees, Antonio Guterres, and I asked him if the international community would be able to cope if the situation continues to get worse.
For the moment, assistance is being provided to those that need it, to those that are in more dire circumstances.
David Cameron and Barack Obama have reinforced their commitment to withdrawing troops from Afghanistan ahead of the British Prime Minister's state visit to the U.S. The meeting comes at a sensitive time in Afghanistan. 16 Afghan civilians and 6 British soldiers have been killed there in recent weeks.
Papers have to say about this meeting. The International Herald Tribune's headline is "War Weighs on Britain's Special Bond." It says, with the United States caught up in disastrous events in Afghanistan, the killing of civilians by U.S. soldiers Sunday, the burning of Qurans, the mood will be freighted with painful questions for both leaders. In Britain, the headline in The Independent is, in Washington, a new agenda for old allies. It's an opinion piece that goes on to say, at a time when there is so much for two old allies to decide, it should be a matter for relief on both sides of the Atlantic, that it is professional rather than personal considerations that will be paramount. And finally, there is a guest editorial in the Washington Post, which has been written by President Obama and Mr. Cameron. The headline is, "A Special Relationship Endures." It says, well, they say the alliance between the United States and Great Britain is a partnership of the heart, bound by the history, traditions, and values we share. But what makes our relationship special is that we join hands across so many endeavors. Put simply, we count on each other, and the world counts on our alliance. It was an unusual and unlikely record set in the Premier League on Monday. Don Riddell joins us with the details on that.
Hi there, thanks very much. Arsenal have had their critics this season, but they are on an impressive run of form at the moment.
No egos here either.
Absolutely. That's why I like working here.
Thank you very much.
Don't believe a word they say. You're watching World One Live from London.
Saying police investigating phone hacking in Britain have arrested 6 people, including a woman believed to be Rebecca Brooks, the former editor of the News of the World newspaper. Police say all the people arrested earlier today are being held on suspicion of conspiracy to pervert the course of justice. Police are investigating phone hacking by journalists at the News of the World, which was shut down by Rupert Murdoch's News Corp last year. Has been following the story. He joins us now. Is there any more confirmation whether or not it was indeed Rebecca Brooks?
We don't have it confirmed ourselves. Interestingly, we spoke to her spokesman this morning, and he said he didn't know and is going to get back to us. Suspects, nobody's been charged.
Okay, interestingly enough. All right, thank you very much for that, Richard. Appreciate that.
Next couple of days. Back to you. Mari Ramos, thanks. You're watching World One live from London. I'm Zain Verjee.
And I'm Monita Rajpal. Thank you for joining us. We'll update you the news headlines at the top of the hour right here on CNN.